Story 1. There have been many eerie and unsettling incidents reported in and around Walmart stores, but one story that stands out is the case of the Walmart ghost. According to multiple reports, a woman was shopping in the electronics section of a Walmart store late at night. She was the only customer in the area and noticed a man in his 50s standing near the DVDs. The man was dressed in outdated clothing and had a pale, almost translucent complexion. Feeling uneasy, the woman moved to another section of the store, but when she turned around, the man was right behind her. She tried to walk away, but the man continued to follow her. Eventually, the woman became so frightened that she ran to the front of the store and reported the man to a security guard. But when the security guard went to investigate, there was no one there. The woman described the man to the guard, and the guard recognized him as a former employee who had passed away several years earlier. Since then, there have been numerous reports of sightings of the Walmart ghost in various Walmart stores across the country. Many employees and customers claim to have seen him wandering the aisles or standing near the DVDs, just as he was on the night of the woman's encounter. While many people dismiss these stories as urban legends or hoaxes, the fact remains that something eerie seems to be lurking in the aisles of Walmart, waiting to be discovered by unsuspecting customers. Story 2. Once upon a time, there was a Walmart in a small town in the middle of nowhere. It was the only store in town, and everyone went there to do their shopping. However, there was something strange about this Walmart that no one could explain. One night, a group of teenagers decided to explore the Walmart after it closed. They had heard rumors that strange things happened in the store after hours, and they wanted to see for themselves. As they walked through the store, they noticed that some of the items on the shelves had moved since they had last been there. It was as if someone had been walking around the store, rearranging things. Suddenly, they heard a noise coming from the back of the store. It sounded like someone was dragging something heavy across the floor. The teenagers cautiously made their way towards the source of the noise. As they approached the back of the store, they saw a figure dressed in all black dragging a large bag behind them. The figure didn't seem to notice the teenagers as it continued to drag the bag across the floor. The teenagers were frozen in fear as they watched the figure disappear into the storage room. They waited for a few minutes, but the figure didn't reappear. Feeling brave, the teenagers decided to investigate the storage room. As they entered the room, they were hit with a foul smell that made them gag. It was coming from the large bag that the figure had been dragging. The teenagers opened the bag, and inside they found a dead body. It was the body of a young woman who had been reported missing a few days earlier. The police were called, and an investigation was launched. It was discovered that the figure in black was a Walmart employee who had been hiding in the store after hours. He had killed the young woman and was trying to dispose of her body. After this incident, the Walmart in the small town was forever tainted by this gruesome act. People began to shop elsewhere, and the Walmart eventually closed down. The memory of what had happened in that store still haunts the people who lived in the town to this day. Story 3. There are many true scary stories about Walmart, but one that stands out is the story of a young woman named Lauren. Lauren was working the night shift at a Walmart in a small town in the Midwest. It was a quiet night, and she was the only one working in her section of the store. Around midnight, a man entered the store and began wandering around. He appeared to be in his mid-30s and was wearing a baseball cap and a hoodie. Lauren thought nothing of it and continued stocking shelves. However, she soon began to feel uneasy. The man seemed to be following her around the store, always staying just out of sight. Lauren tried to shake the feeling off and focused on her work. Suddenly, Lauren heard a noise coming from one of the aisles. She cautiously approached the aisle and peered around the corner. What she saw made her blood run cold. The man was crouched down on the ground, staring directly at her. His eyes were wide and unblinking, and his mouth was twisted into a sinister grin. Lauren froze, unsure of what to do. The man slowly stood up and began to walk towards her. Lauren panicked and ran towards the back of the store, hoping to find someone who could help her. As she ran, she heard the man's footsteps getting closer and closer. She finally reached the employee break room and locked the door behind her. Lauren sat in the break room for what felt like hours, too scared to move. Eventually, she heard someone knocking on the door. It was a security guard who had been patrolling the store. He had noticed the man on the security cameras and had come to check on Lauren. The police were called, but the man was never caught. Lauren quit her job at Walmart shortly after the incident and has never set foot in the store again. To this day, she is haunted by the memory of the man's sinister grin and the sound of his footsteps following her through the store.